What did one dictionary say to the other dictionary? I don't know. Look it up. So I know you come to this video for the programming goods, and I am going to give those to you shortly, but we need to talk about the problem first. So last week I said I was going to take you to the grocery store with me, and, well, that didn't happen. Good intentions, bad follow through. But that's why this week is so much more important, because the boss has sent me to the grocery store with a list of items, including one called Splendid Sardines, which he told me not to come back if they don't really have it, and they don't usually have it. So we're going to have to find out if they're actually there. But we're going to page through our shopping list, add some stuff to our basket, and if I do a really good job, he might let me buy just a couple of things. So as you see, I have my shopping list, I have my basket, and I have my inventory, the store inventory, in order to look through it to see what they have. Now I'm going to model the workflow that we might go through if we were to go to the grocery store. I'm going to look at my list first, and then I'm going to go look at the inventory. We're going to look through a few methods as well and see just a couple of different ways to work with dictionaries. As promised, I have my shopping list. I'm just going to page through it. I'm going to say for item in shopping list just to make sure that I have a handle on what I need to get. So I'm going to have a look here. No, you're not. Now, of course, I have my shopping list, and I'm going to take a look through it just for a second here to get a handle on what I need. So I'm going to say for item in shop list, and that is my list. I'm going to print item, and I see that I have my list here. All right, so we've got seltzer. Oh, he really loves Oh My Mackerel, but not as much as Splendid Sardines. He doesn't get that often, but he's definitely probably not going to get them today. So if I'm looking at my list, the next thing I usually do logically, if I'm thinking about working with a grocery store experience, is I am going to look through their inventory to see what they have. Now, I have a dictionary for this. I have a dictionary of key value pairs that is item, and then the amount of inventory that the store has. Some of them they have more of than others. But I'm going to use a different method to actually go through each of the keys of the dictionary. And I'm going to ask if the item is in. You can't do is. People do that, and you've been messing up, even like getting mad at them about it. You can't do that. So to my basket, my shop list, and the store inventory, I'm going to page through my shopping list just to make sure I understand everything that I need here. So I'm going to say for item in shop list, print each item, and just see what I've got. Now I could look at my list as well, but we're going to page through our items here. And I've got 4 of these. He loves Oh My Mackerel. It's his thing, but he really loves Splendid Sardines, but I just don't think he's actually going to get those today. And, of course, I can get my seltzer and coffee if I can manage to put it in my basket today. So when I look at a workflow of going to a grocery store, I go in with my list and I look at what the inventory is that they have, and I compare what can I find in the inventory. We're going to do that here by asking a question of the dictionary using something different than we did in the last video. We're still going to use if in, but we're going to use a method of dictionary that allows me just to look at the keys only, and I'm able to examine what the inventory consists of. So I'm going to say if item in inventory dot keys, and the keys method just returns a list of all of the keys here. I can print item, and I notice that, I can spell my print correctly, of course. I notice that, well, all of my shopping list items except for Splendid Sardines is here, and he told me not to come home if I don't get it. So I think I'm probably going to be sleeping in my car tonight because he is not going to let me back in the house. But regardless, I need to get a few things, so we are going to go through the process here. So I've asked for item in shopping list. If the item is in the keys of my inventory, then what I should do is I should add it to my basket. And we know this very well, basket.append. We add our item to my basket. And if I print my basket, I see that I've got all of my stuff here. All right, great. They're in my basket. Shopping done. Well, not so fast. What's interesting here is if I were to print the inventory, you see that the inventory still technically has 1 coffee in it. I thankfully have taken the last one, but I need to be able to take that off the shelf if I actually take the last one, or if I take one of anything, I need to be able to take it off the shelf. So let's help this grocery store out. We're going to use subscript notation to do that. So in the event that I add something to my basket, I want to say inventory item minus equals 1, because I want to take 1 off the shelf. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I look in the inventory, and I see that I'm now down to 0. But if I were to keep going, let's say someone came along with a similar shopping list, and I were to print the inventory, you see how we have negative numbers. Now, we can't really have negative numbers on the shelf, so we need to be able to guard against that. So what we're going to do is introduce just a little bit of logic, a little problem solving that we've done in a couple of previous weeks. You may be able to intuit where we're going. We might say something along the lines of, if inventory item, so we are getting the value of a key, is greater than 0, again, key value pairs, we're getting the value part of that key. If the inventory item is greater than 0, we should add it to our basket and take 1 off the shelf. In every other case, we should pop the item out of the inventory. We can use a similar method here because this method exists on dictionaries. I know I made a big deal about how methods are very, very different between structures or between objects. In this case, this is one that is the same. We can use the pop method to take something off of a dictionary. So I'm going to pop item if, in fact, there are less than 0 of them, or 0 themselves. So I'm going to go ahead and run this, and I notice that I have 0 now, and these should be gone in the next run around, and they are. So I'm able to leverage my ability to grab values directly to test whether or not the item should still be in the dictionary, and I see that I'm able to change them. So just like lists, I can take stuff out, I can put stuff in, like we saw in our last video, but I'm able to interact with them at the same level. The only real difference here is the way that we get our values and the way that we call things using keys. Thank you for helping me out with that problem. I finally got my grocery shopping done. I may have a tough conversation with the boss when I get home, but at least I've gotten something for myself and a little bit of something for him. However, we still have an issue, because as we'll see in the next video, there's no such thing as a free lunch.